Hi, welcome to the Simple RFID podcast. I'm Stan Andrus, CEO of Simple RFID.
And I'm Mandy Madsen, COO. We're here to share how RFID is transforming inventory management for businesses.
Yeah, it's funny because so many people don't realize how powerful RFID technology is. And in fact, a lot of times people haven't even heard of RFID. And a lot of times they'll confuse it with other technologies like NFC, the near field communication form of RFID. And really our mission is to help clarify and communicate exactly what this technology is.
Exactly. I like to say, think of RFID as a magic wand for your inventory. A little analogy, if you've seen the movie Sleeping Beauty, which I'm sure a lot of you have, the fairies, they send Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, off into the forest to pick berries. And while she's gone, they are using their magic wands to clean the cottage, to make a dress, bake a cake. And so over my life, I've thought, wouldn't it be cool if I had a magic wand to do this or that? And so basically, we're helping retailers count their inventory in record time and super accurate. So it's like a magic wand for your inventory. Super exciting. And it's the way that it's going for anybody really who has inventory.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely the future of inventory management and inventory tracking. Really, just to jump right in, I'll share a little bit about how the company was formed and kind of the impetus for this whole thing. About 15 years ago, I was running a logistics company that I started with my brother. And primarily we worked with Costco wholesale retailers that were running the road shows, basically consignment sellers that were selling through Costco wholesale. And I really saw firsthand the difficulty that inventory management was for them, specifically because the product wasn't right there in front of them at their warehouses. So they had to hire personnel to go in and hand count, manually count these inventories. Despite the fact that they were really quite small inventories, 200 to maybe 800 pieces per show, it was an impossible task for these guys. And really, it was kind of a light bulb moment for me where I realized, man, there's got to be a better way to do this. Mm-hmm. So, interestingly, I was having a conversation with one of my customers, this gentleman named Alan, from a company at the time, and I told him about my desire to help solve this problem, and told him that I was thinking even about starting a software because I had previously worked at a software startup and found it fascinating. Well, after I told him my thoughts about barcodes and QR codes and the different ways to capture the data, he said, you really ought to look into this technology, RFID, because, he's like, it's the wave of the future. Mm. And I was blown away. I'd never even heard about the technology up to that point. At least it hadn't, landed on my radar. So I basically spent 6 months just researching and trying to learn as much as I could about this technology and, putting up these different hurdles saying, okay, well, if it can do this, then it might be worth continuing to pursue this vision that I have. And each time, each one of these qualifiers, was met, I was like, wow, this is potentially something we really need to be doing. So I teamed up with one of my friends from that tech startup, and he helped put together the initial software team that we started building the company with. The original name of the company was called Merch Manager, but really it was difficult because people thought we were merchant services and never knew that we were actually offering RFID technology. So we ended up rebranding in 2016 to Simple RFID to really better articulate what it is that we are doing. And of course, since then, we've grown and expanded the product and added features and team members. And anyway, it's really exciting.
Wow, what an incredible journey. I love that you were basically in the right place at the right time and you already had that goal. And so it just seemed like really amazing alignment happening there. Yeah. So I'd like to help our audience a little bit. We'd like to dive into what RFID is and why it's such a game changer. So if you wouldn't mind maybe sharing with our audience, what is RFID?
Sure. Yeah. So RFID stands for radio frequency identification. And really, the long and short of it is that it uses radio waves to capture data inside of a sticker or inside of a tag. And the tag contains a microchip and an antenna. And so really there are three main parts to an RFID solution. You've got your reader, which sends out a radio signal and then captures information being sent back to the reader. It includes tags, of course, that you're going to be affixing to the items that you're tracking. And then the last piece, of course, is the software layer that takes that data, makes sense of it, and then pushes that information to, to wherever you need the data stored. So,
okay, amazing. So there's a lot of benefits to this, right?
Right. Yeah. So some of the main benefits are that RFID allows you to scan and count over 1,000 items per minute. So incredibly fast. You can go through and count a retail store in really just a few minutes. We have a local company here that has a retail store at this mall, and they probably have something like 3,500 pieces in their inventory, and we're able to go through there with one person and count that store in about 5 minutes. So total game changer in terms of accuracy, in terms of up to date inventory numbers, and not requiring the whole staff to go in and count and dedicate a full weekend to go.
Yeah, imagine how long would that store take to count manually?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say 8 hours or more with probably a team of people. So significant savings in time and of course accuracy. So the other thing is I mentioned accuracy. So RFID tags are uniquely serialized, so the tags can't be double counted during an inventory audit. You're able to identify them and ensure a really high degree of accuracy, really over 99%. And so it sets a standard well beyond anything that's in the marketplace now.
Yeah. So basically, because of the speed and accuracy, you can do an audit with one person. Obviously, we said in 5 minutes, but depending on the size of your inventory, it's super, doable to audit often and have accurate inventory.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. So no double counting. You don't have to have a line of sight on that sticker. So people are able to scan from up to 15 feet away or more even. Right. And anyway, it's incredible.
Yeah. And really not disrupting their store operations to count. Normally audits happen, once or twice a year for most retailers, and they are shutting their stores down. Sometimes often having to hire outside staff to come in and help. Unfolding clothing. Yeah.
Taking things down.
Off shelves, out of boxes. All of that goes away with RFID because you're literally able to read product inside of closed boxes on shelves, folded up without ever disrupting
it's like
your
magic.
Yeah, so it really is like magic. When we've gone in and done scans in retail settings, we're walking along, waving this wand, and it is a wand, and people every single time will come up and go, "What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I've never seen anybody do that." And it's always funny to see the interaction with people when they see a person walking along waving a wand in the air.
Totally. The other benefit that we see is accurate inventory numbers for online sales. So we work with a lot of Shopify customers, for instance, who have online stores and physical stores. And so having that accuracy is super important, because if you sell it physically, you don't have it to sell online. So it prevents overselling, having to refund customers. Right.
And you nailed it. Like the big benefit has come with the omni-channel marketplace that the customer now demands. So obviously with a pure brick and mortar store, accuracy isn't as critical because if it's there, it's going to be on the shelves. Or maybe in the back room, but ultimately a person's not going to come in, pay for it, leave and say, ship it to me, in times past. Today, however, people can purchase things online and pick them up in store. People can, purchase online and have it delivered and just a variety of different ways to have that order fulfilled. But critically, if retailers don't have accuracy with their online numbers, the customers are purchasing items all day long and they are constantly having to refund. And, it's just a poor buying experience for the customer. So
Can we talk about my favorite benefit or tool?
absolutely.
Okay. Search and find.
Yeah. So this is a really, really amazing feature, and it's really leaned on from customers, really big time. So you can use an RFID reader not only to count, like we've been talking about, but you can also use it to find items. So kind of like a game of hot and cold, you can use this reader and find any item in your inventory in under a minute for most retail stores, because the reader will guide you to the item through audio and visual cues. So you're not hunting through things. And oftentimes with retail stores, somebody might find the last size of something they want, and go hide it because they want to come back for it later. Sure. And, that happens all the time. Or things get misplaced or things like that. So it really comes in handy. If you have a lot of the same type of product where there's not much variance, those items can be sold and, incorrectly sold, and the businesses can lose money. In fact, things like wine, we've worked with different wine retailers, and that's something that they have really said has helped them, is the fact that despite the fact that every bottle can look the same, the RFID tag can pick up and recognize, those product details. So
for sure. And back to the running out of a size, we've definitely talked to, going onto a store worker saying we did have somebody who requested a small, and we knew we had it, and the system said we had it, but I couldn't find it. And so then they left and we lost the sale.
Right.
So that search and find tool is crucial for quickly tracking down something that's missing. Or maybe you're a shoe store and you have to go back in the back and find a size and it's been put in the wrong place. Right. Well, this is immediately going to help you rescue that sale and help that customer not have to stand there and wait for a long time. Yeah,
absolutely. Improving the customer experience all the way around. Just improving operations. Your staff, isn't chasing around hunting and trying to find items. They can locate it quickly, and it just makes an overall much better experience. You can operate with a lot less staff, so you're not having to operate with a big bloated organization, a whole bunch of staff there counting or hunting for things. And so
question.
Yeah.
If you have an order that you've packed up and you put the tape over it, and then you're like, oh no, did I pack it right? Is there a way to know what's inside that box without opening it and know that the order's packed right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so that's I guess the last benefit that we wanted to mention is the fact that you can verify order accuracy with this technology without even opening the box. So and really one of the cool things is you're identifying the exact item that is being fulfilled. So we also have run across businesses that have items that they need to track all the way down to a serial number. They need to know exactly which serial number or lot the item is being fulfilled from. And so RFID provides that as a perfect solution, where you can scan the item, verify that it is packed correctly, and also capture the related serial number or serial information for that specific tag.
For sure.
So you know who bought what. So product recalls then become a breeze because you can literally see who purchased what. So
we've used it internally when we ship out orders to go back and say, what did we ship to that customer?
Absolutely.
And we can go and see exactly the serial numbers and items we shipped out.
Right.
So it's saved our bacon.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of times.
Big time for sure. So pretty amazing technology. And it's funny how, the world moves at warp speed sometimes, and other times it seems like the world crawls. But I think RFID is going to come on really big in the next 10 years. Where it has already, of course. We've seen it appearing. Tons of retailers are now using it. Nike, Adidas, Puma, Under Armour, Oakley. The list goes on and on and on. But now you're seeing thousands and thousands of small and mid-sized brands adopting RFID. So, the perception was that it was only for the big companies out there, the big retailers, the big brands. They were the only ones that can afford it, but it's just really not true. And we're seeing that now. So.
Well, that's part of our mission, is to make it simple, user-friendly, and affordable for businesses of all sizes. So whether you have one store or hundreds, we got you covered.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And we today work with hundreds of companies the globe over. We just signed up our first customer in Bulgaria, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, we work with companies all over the globe, and we're able to set them up. The day that they receive their hardware, they're able to get started printing and scanning the tags and syncing that data with Shopify and other platforms that we've got integrations with. So it's really, really pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Well, the truth is we've shared some benefits, but we've only scratched the surface to the benefits. There's many, many more, but we've put together a series of episodes we want to put out in the future. So make sure you subscribe to our podcast so you can get those updates and, be educated more on what this is so you can understand how it will fit into your business. Let's see. So let's talk about what we're gonna bring up on the next episode. I think.
Yeah. So I on our next episode, we're gonna really try to draw a contrast between the technology that everybody knows and uses today, which is barcodes, against RFID, and how those two technologies differ from one another.
They're gonna feud.
They're gonna feud. Yeah, so you'll be able to see how they do work in tandem,
right,
and how retailers are able to utilize both the barcode and the RFID in concert with one another, and it'll really help clarify the differences and really what RFID is more by understanding what it is not. So
yeah, in other episodes we're going to cover topics like why retailers are switching to RFID. How Shopify businesses are going to be up-leveling their holidays with RFID and much more.
Awesome. Yeah. So we will also be highlighting different industries, that may really align with what you guys do, with what your particular business does. We're going to talk industries like footwear, jewelry, and really even things like how RFID is helping golf pros better manage their pro shops and claw back their time so that they can do more of what they love, like
spending time on the golf course.
Time on the golf, yeah, exactly. So
less time on inventory, which they hate.
Right. Well, I think everybody hates inventory.
Yeah.
Counting.
We went to the PGA earlier this year and talked to golfers who we mentioned the word inventory, and they immediately were like swearing, basically.
Yeah, cringe. Yeah.
So, anyway, so don't forget to stay tuned, subscribe. And if you're ready to simplify your inventory management with RFID, we'd love to chat. So you can schedule a demo with us today, and we'll walk you through how RFID can fit your unique use case. At Simple RFID, we make it our mission to keep things simple and user-friendly. In fact, once you received your RFID package, you can be printing and scanning your RFID stickers that same day. So visit our website, www.simplerfid.com, or contact us directly to get started, and let's help you take control of your inventory today and give you your time back.
Yeah. And if you want to call in, our phone number is 844-637-2464. So you're always welcome to call us directly. We'd love to chat with you as well. So
thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks.